Arsenal 2, PSG 0 in the Champions League. Arsenal picked their first win in the Champions League at home at the Emirates against the PSG, a resilient PSG. But the Arsenal, to be honest, we have to speak about how this team now is being set up on the pitch. They are a very adaptable team. In my opinion, Arsenal are a team that is set up now not only to compete for the Champions League, for the Premier League, but to win the Champions League. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the game, of course. Kai Havertz, clutch moment again. Kai Havertz, we have to admit that the guy in big games in Champions League, he shows up. He showed up today, being very brave. Trossard, absolutely brilliant. Mikel Moreno making his debut for Arsenal. Make sure to hit that like button, like the video, and let me know what you think about the analysis of the game. We'll analyze the game. We'll talk about Arsenal. We'll talk about what this win means, because a clean sheet at home against PSG, maybe they didn't have most of the position. Maybe they didn't have most of the position, but I thought during the game the Arsenal were very, very comfortable during the game. To be honest with you, I'm watching the game along with me watching my beloved Inter, of course, on the other side. We won 4-0 as well at home. Easy game, to be honest, for Inter. But Arsenal now, the way they set up this season is completely different. They press in bursts. They press when they feel like they're going to dispossess the opposition, which is credit only to Mikel Arteta, who I know everyone wants to banter Arsenal. Everyone wants to banter Mikel Arteta. He hasn't won. He hasn't won trophies yet. Yes, he only won one cup in the first season, and he hasn't won the Premier League or the Champions League. But you have to look at the analysis of the game. You have to look at how Arsenal approached the game today. Absolutely brilliant setup by Mikel Arteta with Timber on the right side and 𝐒𝐤𝐿. Thomas Partey today played well as well. Declan Rice now next to him. And Arsenal in some points of the game, or some parts of the game, were playing as a 4-4-2 or 4-2-4 with Trossard and Havertz acting like forwards. The exchange between them, who's going to be in the 18, who's going to drop deep and collect the ball. And at the end, Trossard, to be honest with you, proved that this notion and this thing that everyone was talking about, that he is only a player that can come off the bench. The first goal that Arsenal scored were brilliant run and a magnificent cross by Trossard in the dangerous area. And Kai Havertz was so brave to be ahead of the late Donnarumma. Always has a mistake in him. This guy, I always thought he's never a top goalkeeper. But Kai Havertz ahead of him, brave, heads it towards the goal to open up the game for Arsenal, to make Arsenal more comfortable. Arsenal, they were comfortable before the goal, to make them more comfortable. And the second goal, a brilliant free kick by Bukayo Saka, and Donnarumma again not knowing what is going on around him. And the ball nestles into the net in the far post next to Donnarumma. But Arsenal, the thing that caught my eye today, which is the reason why I'm doing this video, make sure to hit that like button, is how comfortable Arsenal look off the ball. The setup, the lines right next to each other or ahead of each other, the defense line and the midfield line. Very, very comfortable Arsenal. The defending bulks. They know exactly where to stand. Yes, Raya had a save here and there from long shots. But you never thought that PSG were going to draw this game. Even at 1-0, you never thought that PSG were going to get the equalizer. You thought that Arsenal are closer to the second goal. And that is a team that knows how to manage the game in times. Different times require different plans. They change the plan within the game itself multiple times, from pressing to dropping deep to playing counterattacks to playing long balls to Kai Havertz, who held it very, very well to give the team a break. And that is credit to what? To who? To one guy only. To Mikel Arteta, the Spaniard, who responds to everyone. That, yes, we manage the games different, but we manage the games depending on the opposition and depending on the situation. And he said in the press conference before the game, you have to look at the context of every game. And that is a team that is set up to win cups. I have to admit that I'm looking at this Arsenal team. They're going to challenge for the Premier League no matter what you tell me. This team is going to go all the way to the end in the Premier League. But if you remember, Arsenal back in the days, the Wenger era, and even the early days of 𝐒𝐤 Arteta, they had one way of playing football. Now it is completely different. Now he changed. Now sometimes he becomes more pragmatic, but sometimes he presses high as well. We saw today Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, Trossard, Martinelli, Thomas Partey, Calafiori, Timber. Everyone presses because he trusts his defenders. We didn't see this in the beginning of the season. Of course, there was context, there was circumstances when they went down to 10 men against Brighton and against Man City. But we saw today the footprint of how Arsenal approached different games. Against Leicester, they pressed the whole game and they were on Leicester City's throat the whole game. Of course, Leicester City came back to the game, but that was due to the 2 goals that they scored in circumstances. But Arsenal created abundance of chances. Arsenal today as well created a couple of more chances than PSG. The XG shows that. But I'm going to look at this team and I'm saying, if I'm Inter and I support Inter, I'm playing this team and I'm a little bit afraid of the way they approach game. Because you can't read them. It is very hard now to read how Arsenal play football. Are they going to press you? Are they going to drop deep? Are they going to do counter-attacks? Still, we're waiting for Mikel Merino even to get integrated, Odegaard to come back from the injury. And I think as people, some people say they are scary. I'm not going to say they are scary because, oh, they attack well. No. You know why they are scary for real? Because you can't read them. You cannot have the anti-Arsenal plan. You don't know. And that is why they are so difficult to read. So many weapons, of course, set pieces. Now Kai Havertz late runs, Trossard late runs in the 18. Looks like Martinelli is coming back to his form, being very electric on the left. But I'm saying it here. Arsenal are one of the teams that if you're asking me, I think Arsenal are one of the teams that can win the Champions League. 100% can win this Champions League. The way they set up, they look like a cup team when they need to, defending leads. They look like a team that is willing to drop deep when needs to be. But Arsenal, without a shadow of a doubt today, very comfortable win. Send the message to everyone that it is not going to be easy to play us. Make sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And I will see you guys later.